In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NBA games happening on March 25, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Atlanta Hawks versus Houston Rockets. Atlanta is heading to the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas, for a matchup against the Rockets. This will be their second meeting of the season, with Houston having taken the first game in a close 100-96 victory on the road back on January 29th. In that game, the Rockets were favored by 4.5 points and managed to cover the spread. Now, with home court advantage, Houston is once again opening as the favorite. The Hawks are still dealing with significant injuries, as Clint Capela, Larry Nance Jr., and Jacob Toppin remain sidelined. Meanwhile, the Rockets are at full strength, which certainly gives them an edge. Given that Houston already secured a road win against Atlanta earlier this season, it's easy to see why they're expected to come out on top again at home. That said, the point spread is fairly large, and it feels like the Hawks are being somewhat underestimated here. While Houston is the better team, Atlanta isn't just going to roll over and hand them an easy victory. Whenever these two teams face off, the games tend to be close and competitive. Historically, Atlanta has performed well in this matchup, covering the spread in 5 of their last 6 meetings against Houston and even winning 4 of those outright. Even though the Rockets have been red hot, winning 9 of their last 10 games, their recent victories have all been relatively close, with the last 4 being decided by 8 points or fewer. The Hawks have also been playing solid basketball, and while Houston has the momentum, Atlanta won't let them pull away without a fight. Despite how well the Rockets have been playing, they've struggled to cover spreads recently, managing to do so in just 1 of their last 5 games. Most of their recent wins have been tight, often decided by single digits. On the other hand, Atlanta has been hot against the spread, winning and covering in 3 straight games and 6 of their last 9. They are relatively healthy outside of their known injuries and have been particularly strong on the road, covering in 7 of their last 9 away games. When the Hawks have their core trio of Trae Young, Caris LeVert, and Dyson Daniels on the floor, they are a team capable of making a playoff push. While the Rockets are undoubtedly the superior team overall and deserve to be favored at home, they're still young and have had difficulty handling expectations. Just when it seemed like they had turned a corner, they dropped a game to the Denver Nuggets despite being favored by 7.5 points. Meanwhile, the Hawks have been quietly putting together a solid stretch, winning 7 of their last 10 games. As underdogs, they've shown resilience, winning outright in 3 of their last 5 games in that role. Furthermore, Houston has struggled to cover the spread when heavily favored, failing to do so in 8 of their last 11 games when favored by 5 or more points. As our first pick for this matchup, the Atlanta Hawks to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Offensively, Atlanta has been one of the most explosive teams in the NBA during the month of March. They've been lighting up the scoreboard, averaging an impressive 123 points per game, which not only makes them the highest scoring team in the Eastern Conference during this stretch, but also places them 3rd overall in the league. Additionally, they rank 2nd in pace of play, meaning they push the tempo and generate plenty of scoring opportunities. Meanwhile, Houston has also been productive offensively, ranking 12th in scoring at 117 points per game, despite ranking only 19th in the league over the same period. Both teams excel in offensive efficiency, ranking among the top 8 in offensive rating. Atlanta holds the 5th spot, while Houston isn't far behind at 8th. Given how fast the Hawks like to play, the Rockets should have ample opportunities to put up points, especially since Atlanta's defense has been struggling. Over their last 13 games, the Hawks rank just 21st in defensive rating, which is a clear weakness Houston can exploit. With both teams capable of scoring at a high level and playing at a fast pace, this game has all the makings of a high-scoring affair. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Memphis Grizzlies versus Utah Jazz. The Memphis Grizzlies are set to face off against the Utah Jazz on Tuesday night in what should be an interesting matchup between two teams trending in opposite directions. The Grizzlies are currently enduring a rough patch, having lost 3 straight games, including their most recent defeat at the hands of the Los Angeles Clippers. Meanwhile, the Jazz haven't been faring much better as they are coming off back-to-back losses, most recently falling to the Cleveland Cavaliers. In terms of injuries, both teams will be missing some key players. The Grizzlies remain without Ja Morant, Marvin Bagley, and Brandon Clark, while the Jazz have already ruled out Lauri Markkanen. Additionally, Utah is monitoring Jordan Clarkson's status as he is listed as questionable for this game. Memphis has not been playing at their usual high level lately, and their most recent loss to the Clippers was a particularly tough one. However, they might view this matchup as an opportunity to bounce back, given that the Jazz have been struggling mightily. A game against a team that has been unable to find any consistency could be just what the Grizzlies need to regain some momentum. Over the past few weeks, the Grizzlies have been playing slightly better than the Jazz. Memphis has managed to win 5 of their last 9 games, while Utah has lost 9 of their last 10. The Grizzlies also have a statistical advantage when it comes to shooting, converting over 48% of their field goal attempts, compared to the Jazz, who have been shooting at a 45% clip. Memphis has also been significantly better at the free throw line, knocking down over 85% of their attempts in their last 3 contests. In contrast, Utah has struggled in that department, making less than 65% of their free throws during the same stretch. Another key area where the Grizzlies excel is rebounding. They average more than 13 offensive rebounds per game, which creates second-chance scoring opportunities. Additionally, they have taken better care of the ball in recent outings, reducing turnovers and limiting easy scoring chances for their opponents. On the other hand, the Jazz have been one of the worst defensive teams in the league this season, surrendering over 118 points per game when playing at home. Given that Memphis has a more efficient offense and Utah's defense is suspect at best, the Jazz could have a hard time containing the Grizzlies' scoring attack. The Jazz have struggled on both offense and defense all season long, and injuries have only made things worse for them. Losing Lauri Markkanen is a major blow, and they will also be without John Collins, who has been one of their key contributors. Utah's record without Markkanen in the lineup is just 7-18, which speaks volumes about how much they miss his presence on the floor. While Memphis is also dealing with injuries, most notably the absence of Ja Morant, the team is far more accustomed to playing without him, as he has had his fair share of injury troubles throughout his career. The Grizzlies have solid depth, and Jaren Jackson Jr. has stepped up in a big way, playing the best basketball of his career. Given that Utah is missing its top 2 interior defenders, Jackson Jr. should be able to dominate in the paint and have a standout performance offensively. Memphis has already won all 3 previous meetings between these teams this season, and they are well positioned to complete the sweep on Tuesday night. The Jazz simply do not have enough firepower to keep up, and their defensive weaknesses will likely lead to an easy scoring night for the Grizzlies. Both teams have been hit hard by injuries, but the Grizzlies have shown they can still be competitive even when shorthanded. As our first pick for this matchup, the Memphis Grizzlies to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Looking at the total points for this matchup, the Grizzlies have played games that went over the total in 2 of their last 3 contests. Memphis is one of the highest scoring teams in the league, averaging 122 points per game. They also play at the fastest pace in the NBA, averaging 107.1 possessions per game. This is significant because they are facing a Jazz team that allows an average of 119 points per game when playing at home. Meanwhile, Utah averages 112 points per game and plays at the 9th fastest pace in the league, logging 103.4 possessions per game. Additionally, the Grizzlies give up an average of 119 points per game on the road, meaning Utah should still be able to put up a decent amount of points despite their struggles. Defensively, Utah has been one of the worst teams in the league this season. They rank second to last in defensive efficiency and have given up more than 122 points in all 3 previous meetings against the Grizzlies. The Jazz are also particularly weak at defending the 3-point line, allowing the second most 3-pointers made per game. On top of that, they give up the most fast break points per game, which plays right into Memphis' strength as a fast-paced team. Although the Grizzlies will be missing Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr. has performed exceptionally well against Utah, scoring 28 points on 1-0 for 1-4 shooting in their last encounter. Given how quickly Memphis plays, they should have no problem surpassing the 120-point mark once again. However, Memphis has not been as sharp defensively in recent games, allowing at least 115 points in 5 of their last 6 matchups. matchups. The Jazz scored 115 points the last time these two teams met, and they have generally shot better when playing at home. Given the pace at which this game is likely to be played, expect plenty of scoring from both sides. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Oklahoma City Thunder versus Sacramento Kings. The Sacramento Kings are set to welcome the Oklahoma City Thunder to the Golden One Center for what should be a compelling matchup. These teams have faced off plenty of times, and recent history favors the Thunder, who have managed to win 4 of the last 5 meetings. Not only did they come out on top in those games, but they also covered the spread in each of those victories. That kind of track record makes them a tough opponent for Sacramento to handle. In terms of injuries, Oklahoma City will once again be without Ousmane Dieng, and there's some uncertainty around Chet Holmgren, who is currently listed as questionable. On the Kings side, Malik Monk and Doug McDermott remain out, which is a hit to their depth. The Thunder have been one of the hottest teams in the league, and despite an off shooting night, they still managed to take down the Clippers in their last outing. That level of resilience speaks volumes about their current form. Meanwhile, the Kings have been struggling, and things aren't getting any easier for them. They're coming off a brutal loss to the Celtics and will be playing the second half of a back-to-back, which is never ideal when going up against an elite team. Oklahoma City has already locked up the Western Conference title and is now eyeing the best overall record in the NBA. That means they have every reason to keep their foot on the gas. Sacramento, on the other hand, has a rough schedule ahead, as they have to deal with Boston on Monday before turning around to face OKC on Tuesday. Statistically, the Thunder are one of the best offensive teams in the league, ranking 4th in scoring, 8th in field goal percentage, and 7th in three-point shooting percentage. However, what makes them even more dangerous is their defense. They rank 2nd in points allowed, and they lead the league in opponent field goal percentage as well as opponent three-point percentage. From a betting perspective, Oklahoma City has been dominant, covering the spread in 5 of its last 6 games and 6 of the last 7 played on the road. Sacramento, on the other hand, has only managed to cover in 2 of its last 7 contests. To make matters worse, the Kings have some key players dealing with injuries, including their 3rd leading scorer, top rebounder, and primary playmaker Domantas Sabonis, who is a game-time decision. The Kings are slipping in the standings, and it's hard to imagine them turning things around on the second night of a back-to-back. The Thunder have the clear advantage in terms of rest, and they've been covering spreads at an elite level with a 46-22-4 record against the spread. Their cover percentage of 68.6% is the best in the NBA by a considerable margin. Even though the point spread is on the larger side, the Thunder have been such a reliable bet that it's hard to go against them. They are 4-0 straight up and against the spread in their last 4 matchups against Sacramento, which only strengthens the case for backing them. Given the circumstances, it's no surprise the line is steep, but the combination of extra rest and strong form makes the Thunder a strong play. As our first pick for this matchup, the Oklahoma City Thunder to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. When it comes to the total points, the over has hit in 11 of Oklahoma City's last 17 games. The same trend has played out for Sacramento, as 7 of their last 9 games have gone over, including 5 of their last 6 home games. With the Thunder ranking 4th in scoring and the Kings sitting at 9th, there's plenty of offensive firepower on display. While Oklahoma City's defense is one of the best in the league, they've had some inconsistencies on that end lately, which could allow Sacramento to put up more points than expected. Additionally, both teams play at a relatively fast pace and rank in the top half of the league in possessions per game. Since both offenses take care of the ball well, there should be a lot of efficient possessions leading to quality shot attempts. With all of that in mind, the over is an attractive option. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Cleveland Cavaliers versus Portland Trail Blazers. The Cleveland Cavaliers are set to travel to the Moda Center in Portland, Oregon, on Tuesday night for a cross-conference battle against the Portland Trail Blazers. This matchup will mark the second and final meeting between these two teams during the regular season. In their first showdown earlier this month, Cleveland managed to pull off a narrow victory, edging out the Trail Blazers 133-129. The Cavaliers entered that game as significant home favorites, favored by 10.5 points. points, but Portland gave them all they could handle before ultimately falling short. Cleveland will be entering this game with a fully healthy roster, a luxury that Portland cannot claim. The Trail Blazers will once again be without key players DeAndre Ayton, Robert Williams, and Jerami Grant, all of whom have been sidelined due to injuries. The Cavaliers have had their ups and downs recently, particularly during a brutal 4-game losing skid where they struggled to find their rhythm. However, they managed to get back on track in their last outing with a dominant victory over the Utah Jazz. On the other hand, the Trail Blazers had been riding a 4-game winning streak before suffering a tough loss to the Boston Celtics on Sunday. This Portland team has shown that it can go toe-to-toe with Cleveland, having taken the Cavaliers to overtime in their previous meeting earlier this month. Last season, the Trail Blazers even secured a victory over the Cavaliers on the road. Cleveland has not been as dominant as it was earlier in the year, and that has reflected in its recent betting trends. The Cavaliers have struggled against the spread, going just 1-4 in their last 5 games and posting a disappointing 4-8 against the spread record throughout March. Meanwhile, the Trail Blazers have covered in 3 of their last 4 games and have performed well against the spread all season, holding a 41-30-1 against the spread record overall. At home, they have been even more reliable, boasting a 22-15 against the spread mark. Cleveland's shooting struggles were evident in their last game against Utah, and they could have a tough time scoring in the paint against a Portland defense that allows just 48 points per game in that area, ranking 9th in the NBA. Additionally, opponents have attempted just 35.7 three-pointers per game against the Blazers, which does not bode well for a Cavaliers team that struggled from beyond the arc in their last outing. Despite Cleveland's solid record this season, both straight up and against the spread, the recent trends suggest this line might be a bit off. The Cavaliers have not been playing their best basketball lately, and to make matters worse, they will be without Donovan Mitchell for this contest. Meanwhile, Portland has been playing hard, winning games, and staying competitive throughout the season. With a 41-30-1 against the spread record, the Trail Blazers have been a profitable team for bettors. They also remain just 3 games out of a play-in tournament spot, giving them plenty of motivation to keep fighting for wins. Cleveland has gone just 3-7 against the spread over its last 10 games, and given that Portland already forced overtime against them earlier this month, the Trail Blazers have a legitimate shot at keeping this one close or even pulling off the upset. As our first pick for this matchup, the Portland Trail Blazers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Cleveland failed to hit the over in its last game against a struggling Utah team, and the Cavaliers could have similar offensive struggles against a much tougher Portland defense on the road. This could keep the total score lower than expected. The Cavaliers have gone 4-6 on the over in their last 10 games, while the Trail Blazers have posted a 2-4 over record during their current homestand. Portland has been an underdog for most of the season, and in that role, they have gone 28-30-3 on the over. One of the key factors in keeping this game from becoming a high-scoring affair is pace of play. Over their last 3 games, the Trail Blazers have averaged just 98.7 possessions per game, ranking 25th in the NBA during that stretch. Cleveland has also slowed down considerably, averaging 99.6 possessions per game recently compared to its season average of 103.7. If Portland can continue to limit Cleveland's effectiveness from beyond the arc, this game has all the makings of a low-scoring affair. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.